glasses. Wrong glasses. Better glasses. Yeah. I've got my old people, not my old people glasses. I've got my computer glasses on. Yeah, that's it. So there. It sounds like I'm like, so there. I've got my computer glasses on. Good morning. I believe for most of us, it's the morning. Morning for the most of us. Hey, Judy. I see Judy Dukes and Kate and Rachel and Blonde Cheryl and Sarah T and Kit Kat. So cool. Awesome. There we go. Cat Mama. It's been a while. Lovely to be here on time. I will tell you an external motivator, an external due date of, hey, you told people you were gonna show up at 10 a.m. Eastern, gets you out of the shower quicker than if you didn't show up at 10 a.m. Eastern. So here we are. We are here for a TikTok Live, 10 a.m. Now, for those of you who are on the part of the email group, you may have noticed that I had, what do I want to say? I had earlier put this up as a pop-up times, but yesterday I got the notification of the window of time where Suburban Talk, our washer and dryer, are being delivered, and so that's when I could pencil in these times. So 10 to 11 today, right now, for the next 58 minutes, TikTok, immediately followed by, just on a different channel, is Destination Decluttered on the YouTube channel, okay? And for those of you keeping track, after this TikTok Live, there will be, and I upload it, there will be 880 videos for you to watch for free on the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel, okay? So just throwing it out there, people, just throwing it out there. Good stuff available to you. Some you pay for, but most of it you don't, okay? There we go. I know, Penny Lou Magoo, isn't that crazy? Here's the funny thing. This is how overwhelm works, okay? If somebody had ever said to me a few years ago, you're going to need to make 880 videos, I'd be like, yeah, no. The overwhelm of a large number, okay? But when you chunk it down, oh, interesting. It said I lost connection. Good connection. If you chunk it down and you just do one foot in front of the other, and soon you'll be walking across the floor. Don't worry, it's not Christmas. I won't sing the whole song. You chunk it down, you do a little bit at a time, and the next thing you know, quote that phrase, the next thing you know, even though it's taken years, you can say you have 880 videos. It's kind of nuts, but that's how things work. You don't think the little things add up until they do add up, okay? So I'm psyched to share that with you, mainly because when I'm not around, whenever you want, you can have some destination decluttering in your life. But here's the deal. I'm not going to be here like selling, go watch the videos, because you know what we have time for right now is we have the best time, which is the live time, the in real life time of we can get together and get unstuck with the clutter. And I love it. Ellen is saying, I've been cleaning out my closet one group of clothing at a time. Notice that, as I like to call it, that chunking it down, not doing all closet, but even the stuff in your closet. You can, now you called it a group of clothing. I like to call it a category. Categories, name of something that's in your closet, because that can help your brain chunk things down, and your brain works better when you practice the skill of getting out of the overwhelm of too much and into the chunking it down. Your brain works better that way. And when your brain is working better, you feel better. And not just your brain, but your nervous system, all of it. So, that preamble. Howdy, people. Beth, Destination Decluttered, Decluttering Life Coach here. Destination Decluttered here on TikTok. Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Destination Decluttered on the internet, destinationdecluttered.com. So if you are interested in that, there's that. But anyhow, I will be here for the next 55 minutes live on TikTok with you right now. and I am here. Okay, decluttering. Oh, interesting. See, I thought this was somebody called Al. It says Al, decluttering tips. I think it's AI. Decluttering tips, ask for advice. Yes. If you would like some decluttering tips, ask me for advice. Okay. Who knows? Maybe AI is learning from me. AI is going to be skewed Gen X. It's going to be skewed TV and movies and music, and it's going to be skewed to the fun. Okay? Because here's the deal. I like to have fun to get stuff done. If I'm not having fun, it's more difficult for me to get done. I was talking with a one-on-one paying client yesterday and talking about how many people I know and coach and am married to and related to, and probably myself as well, have an ADHD brain. What does this mean? It means that sometimes it is harder for us to get motivated kind of from the get-go, and we need to generate our own motivational dopamine and that type of thing. So we learn to do it. Okay? So I ask you, because things are different every day. There we go. Penny Lou Magoo says, AI could never be our mama duck, Auntie Beth. You're right. Yeah. No, I think of me as like the brass mama duck in the Boston, well, not the Boston garden, the public garden. And you can tell I haven't lived in Boston in over 25 years because I said garden and not garden, because it's not the Boston garden. That's where the Celtics play. But I digress. Yes, I will never be replaced by AI because I am too awesomely random. And that's the cool thing. I'm not a robot. So let's do this, shall we? Every day is a little bit different. Every day you feel different physically. So let's start there. Let's start there. Everybody right now, I'll do it along with you. Put your hands in the air, wave them like you just don't care, and then let's just do a scan down. How are you feeling physically? I'm going to do this too. All right? I'm feeling pretty good. I'm not feeling bad, which is yay. But if I did, I would do something about it. Okay? So I always want to remind you. Now, I may not, because these things are live and I am a human being and I'm not whatever. I may not say this in every single video, but please know I mean it in every single video. Because the more I coach and the more I age and the more I remind myself that I am a spirit in the material world, I am a spirit encased in a body, you got to take care of your body. Now, checking and making sure you feel okay is a good start. The second most immediate part right after that going to be is your nervous system or your nervous system, depending upon where you want to put the accent. And basically that's kind of how you feel, but it's not physical, it's more energetic. Am I all, I'm overwhelmed, kind of static up here? Or are you like way down here going, I'm kind of not moving? Ideally, it's someplace between those two extremes. And many times when people show up on my TikTok lives, my YouTube lives, and frankly, the coaching calls, at the beginning, they're all up here. They're like all staticky and overwhelmed. So often what I recommend is, much like I said with your human body, to scan down. We're going to also calm down your nervous system. Now notice even when I do that, my hands are up here because we tend to overwhelm ourselves. We're the ones who do it. Nobody else does. We overwhelm ourselves by typically looking at things too big, not just right, but too big, shutting down because of the perceived enormity of it, and instead of doing something, we do nothing. Okay? So let's get out of overwhelm, calm down our nervous systems, and kind of like a car, instead of revving in the driveway with the parking brake on, but somehow you're revving, we're going to slow it down. How do we do that in our own bodies? Breathe down. We're going to slow down. We're going to take our foot off the gas. We're not going to slam on the brake. We're going to take our foot off the gas. We're going to quiet down how we talk to ourselves. We're going to pause between things and slow down, calm down, breathe down. Oh, I don't sell these mugs, so this is not a commercial, but this is the mug I picked out today. What does that say? I know you guys get it backwards on TikTok. I apologize. It says slow down, breathe down, write down, chunk down. As I like to call it, all the downs. Anything down is going to help. It's going to simmer down, settle down. You know, if your nervous system is like a snow dome, I should get one from the other room, but that's all shaken up and all up here. Give yourself a moment here. Okay, this is your nervous system, right? Give yourself a moment to just settle down, quiet down. When you do that, notice I've even slowed down how I'm speaking. I've turned down the volume of how I'm speaking. I have actually turned down the tone, the key that I'm speaking in. All of this is going to help you get out of stress and overwhelm and even just into neutral, so that you can shift gears into a gear that's going to be more helpful to you. Okay, so this is the life coach part of the decluttering. You miss these 2 steps, you will feel it as soon as you try to declutter. Because as soon as you try to declutter without missing these steps, or if you skip over these steps, your nervous system is going to be back in overwhelm. And, oh my God, there's too much, I can't do it, all the things. So let's deal with that first and then say, okay, and this is where I highly recommend, again, I joke that I should be, what is that? When you have a endorsement account from Big Notebook. Because I'm saying get a pen and get some paper. And one of the ways to help calm down and slow down your nervous system is to write down and download and do a brain dump. Notice all those kind of down motions, the thoughts in your head that are causing you, the words in your head that are causing your feeling of overwhelm. Think over, I want you to think down. Okay? So those are the few tips that I will ideally have brought to every TikTok live and every video that's on the YouTube, because I'm like 90 years old. So play along at home. Grab yourself some water. Drink down some water. Choose a word that I'm going to say a lot, like down or offer or love or whatever. Or anytime I burst out into song, take a sip of water. All of those things are going to help you so that you can even get out of overwhelm into neutral to start moving towards your destination decluttered, right? By Menon. So those are the first few steps. You know, ignore them at your peril. I love this. Kara's Garden. Kara's Garden says, hey, Halston, Marimekko being mailed. Oh, I'm so excited about the journey that those clothes are going to take. I cannot wait to hear more about it. TikTok pal picking up jewelry today. Awesome. Yay for TikTok pals and yay for somebody picking up something that you are decluttering. Listing. Though I've blisters blistening ride. That's excellent. See, here's what happens. Okay, so many of us, no matter how old you are, if you're listening to me and I'm a decluttering life coach, I bet you have what your body and brain is telling you, kind of too much stuff, not the right amount. This is where I think of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. You have a feeling of ugh because of the quantity of items in your home. That's usually what clutter does. And I like to keep things wicked simple. So knowing that it's a number of things. All right. Jen, good morning. Macy, good morning. So notice, overwhelm because of a large quantity of money. I spent a lot of money on that. Would you feel differently about an item if you got it for $1 versus that you paid $1,000 for it? Would it be easier for you to let go of it? Then it's not the thing itself. It's your thoughts about what it means to spend money and waste money and things like that. Okay? So I'm kind of just riffing here, But what I'd rather do is interact. What I would rather do is find out where you're stuck, okay? And I want to offer this too. If you are feeling overwhelmed, do what I said earlier. If you're just tuning in, calm down, slow down, quiet down, and then write down what you, in the comments, what's jamming you up. Good morning, Marietta in New Jersey. And no, I don't have a twin sister. Actually, my husband wrote a song called Twin Sisters. I have sisters and none of us look alike unless you see it in context. So good morning, Marietta. So where are you, not necessarily you, Marietta, I'm saying you to all of us who've tuned in. Where are you on your decluttering journey? Okay, decluttering is a journey. Decluttering is a journey from where you are now, that you're not too psyched about because of the quantity of stuff in your house, and it's towards your destination. But there's an important difference here. This is not a get to there and then be happy. This is a road trip, people. And this is an enjoy the journey while while aiming for a destination that you will groove on. Okay? So Karen is saying, I have different spaces to declutter. Okay. So Karen, the cool thing is about having different spaces to declutter is you will declutter them using the same process. Okay. So Karen, what I ask you to do, and this is what I suggest to a lot of people, including myself, is get more specific. So I would say think of 3 places. When you think of I have different spaces to declutter, think of 3. You can write them in the comments, and then out of those 3 specific places, pick one you would like some help on. See, this is the cool thing about doing these lives, is this is pretty much live coaching with people watching. Okay? Yay for doing your laundry room. That rocks. My laundry room, I decluttered yesterday. I had people help get rid of our washing machine that still works. Got donated somewhere. Yay. And today they're going to come pick up the dryer that doesn't work and replace the washer and dryer with new ones. Yay. Okay, so Karen has got my closet. Notice we're chunking things down and getting specific. The closet, my daughter's room, and the garage. Okay? So what I would offer to you, Karen, is this is what I would like to do. Your daughter's room is going to be your daughter's stuff, and that's okay. So the daughter's room is most important. Okay, how old is your daughter? Is she under 5, over 10? Like, how old is she? Because here's the reason I'm asking is because I truly believe that many of us show up not really knowing a good way to declutter is because we didn't learn as we were growing up. Either somebody did it for us or somebody, okay, so 26. Okay, so this is good to know. Now, if you, Karen, are struggling a bit with how to declutter, it should not be a surprise that your daughter may struggle with this as well. Okay, so she married and moved out, but the room that was her room. See, now I'm getting, notice, as you provide details and context, we can paint a picture. Okay, so she married and moved out, and my inferences from the words you're putting in the comments, that she left stuff in the room that used to be hers, right? This is going to be, and this is one of those things that pops up a lot, is the notion of decluttering a space that is yours, but that you share or have shared with somebody else. She lived here for a couple of years before marrying. Okay, so wonderful. So I am assuming, Karen, that you want her stuff out of your house. Is that a safe enough kind of assumption to make? Because you want that room that used to be hers. Okay, cool. You want to then use that room that used to be hers, that has her stuff in it, for something else. And you may know what it is, you may not know, but you know one thing is I don't want her stuff in the house anymore. Okay. So one of the things, and this is why I also preface with, I'm not a relationship coach, but I offer to everybody here who is thinking of somebody else's stuff that's jamming me up, is getting the person who owns the stuff involved in the decluttering process. Whether they have previously been excited about that or willing or not. Okay? So Karen, if you got in touch with your daughter and said, hey, Karen, I would like your stuff to get out of this room. Let's make a plan. Okay? How would that go? Would she be amenable? Yes, you're right. That's my stuff. Let's make a plan. Or would you need to work on that a little bit? Because that is having somebody who is willing to participate, not help you out. There's a difference. Willing to participate in the decluttering of their own items. If they are willing, it's going to be a heck of a lot easier. If they're not willing, it doesn't mean you give up. It means it's going to be a little bit more of a rocky road at times, okay? So if she is willing, you can make a plan. Now, this is where the idea, she would be favorable, have to do it without her husband. He's a distraction. So know that. See, now you're creating a plan, knowing that you two would do it together. Don't invite over the hubs. He's just going to distract, and you guys, again, need to do the opposite. You need to focus. Okay, so notice this. I could do it with my daughter, have her come over by herself, not with a husband, and identify the items that are not yours that are hers. So this is where I want to say, and this has come up sometimes when I have talked to people, is the notion of boundaries. Okay? Boundaries. So what do I mean by this? And boundaries is this. Depending upon how you're dealing with, is making a plan that feels good to you, okay? That feels good to you, that also works for them. So being specific, getting in touch, taking a look at, before you ask her, taking a look at your calendar. I will put up a calendar here on my other screen and saying, hey, you, darling daughter, I would love for your stuff to be removed from my house so I can use that space for something else. I am looking at my calendar, and would you be able to come over on, and you pick a date and a time that works for you? And not just the whole day, but say come over for a few hours. Yeah. Now, you could do some pre-gaming, Karen, knowing what's hers and what's not if you want to. Or you could wait till she's there, because here's how we learn things. We don't learn how to do things by somebody doing it for us. We learn things by participating and getting involved in it. Okay? Yeah. Now you could, as I said, you could chunk it down. Notice you've got a room that is the room that used to be hers, but then there's two categories of stuff in there, I'm assuming. Karen's stuff and daughter's stuff. You want to keep your stuff in there. But also, I will say this. If your daughter goes through these things, you can do pre-gaming. You can put things into two piles. But she will benefit from going through the process of, do I even want to take this with me or not to my own home? Or do I want to stop somewhere along the way and donate some of this stuff? But I go back to finding a plan that works for you. Yeah, so Karen says she can do it once she puts her mind to it. Oh my God, isn't that all of us? So notice, do you know when she avoids or why she avoids? Why do you avoid? I would ask you, Karen. You may not know her, but why do you avoid decluttering? What is a thought in your head that causes you to stop and not declutter? Okay, so overwhelmed. Okay, so Karen, I don't know when you tuned in to this TikTok live because I started at 10 a.m., okay? And what I want to offer to you, Karen, is that overwhelm is often the feeling that people feel that when they feel it, it causes them to not start something or to stop. So let's deal with the overwhelm. I will quickly repeat this, but also Karen, just so you know, this TikTok live is being recorded on TikTok, and then I upload the recorded videos to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. So you can go you can watch this again for the kind of the list. But notice what we're doing. We're slowing down, we're quieting down, we are making a plan, okay? So, but what I want to offer to you is overwhelm is typically caused, I have found, by focusing on the big picture and shutting down and not being able to focus on the small stuff. So calming down the nervous system and not getting overwhelmed. Instead of looking at the entire room, a couple of ways you can chunk it down is to set a timer, to not say, oh my God, this is going to take forever, the large amount of time. Okay. And damn it, Donna is tuning in and saying, you are not alone. We all started in that boat. And I will share with every single one of us here, learning how to regulate your nervous system, which really means just calm yourself down and get out of overwhelm and into action. This is a life skill that we can benefit from knowing how to do in many areas of our life. This is why I am a decluttering life coach, is to remind you that this isn't just something you use when you declutter and nothing else. I bet there are other instances in your life, and I speak to all 80 plus of us right now, and in your daughter's life, where you feel an overwhelm and you don't do something because of that feeling. And what I suggest you do is learn how to change that feeling, which you can, and I'm about to show you how. When you change that feeling, you change your options. So calming down your nervous system, not looking up, a lot of it is going to be using the word down and using opposites. So instead of looking at the big picture and being overwhelmed, we'll look at the small picture. We'll look down and we will chunk it down. Maybe all we do is look at the 1 foot square section right in front of us to calm us down. It's like mountain climbers. You can be overwhelmed and say, I could never do that. That mountain is so big, and you don't even try. Or you say, I want to get to there. I want to go to there. And then you look down and say, okay, here's the path. Let me start walking. Okay? So calming down your nervous system, quieting down your environment, getting out of overwhelm, breathing down, slowing down, quieting down, settling down is a life skill that will shift you. It'll make it easier for you to shift your focus. And again, I do this because I'm thinking of like shifting into a different gear. Okay? So practice that yourself. Practice getting out of overwhelm by the method I just described. And if it works for you, you can share that skill with your daughter, because if you don't know it, then she probably doesn't know it either. When you're both less overwhelmed, it's going to be easier to get started on the project. And the hardest part, typically for a lot of us, is not doing the thing. It's literally just getting into gear and starting. Okay? So you're not alone in this. You know, damn it, Donna is saying you're not alone. We all started there. Melissa is offering chunk it down. Yeah, notice that down, chunking it down. Instead of looking at all of it, look at a chunk. Melissa says, listed 15 items on eBay. Rock and roll. Boxing in order and folding 2 loads of laundry before work, and will be making a list. Yeah, making a list is also chunking it down, because you are getting all the kind of swirling thoughts in your head that make you feel kind of nauseated. Yep. And sometimes you have to initiate it first, yes, but other times it can help to prepare yourself. It's like preparing for a road trip, taking a few minutes to get your tanks full, to know where you're going, and then getting going, versus just starting to drive and figuring it out while you're on the road. Now, this is the great thing about these TikTok lives too, is that people show up and they come in and out and whatnot. And Judy is saying, I'm right there with my daughter too, a lot. So notice that I am here for you, and other people have been there where you are on this road, and they're slightly ahead of you, but we all know what it's like to be overwhelmed and can't start, to maybe be with somebody who gets overwhelmed, but knowing what to do in that situation, learning what to do in that situation to change that situation. It's a really good skill to have. So yeah, Judy, I love the fact that you and your daughter have a different way of thinking and feeling about the decluttering than you did prior to you knowing that my coaching existed. That is awesome. So thank you for letting me know that. Okay, but notice everybody, I think if you, like, AI is here, and I don't want to like conjure it up like Beetlejuice, but I bet if AI kind of scanned all of my videos, the word overwhelm would probably be the biggest one in the word cloud. Second to down, because I also use that frequently. See, and this is creepy. This is creepy. AI just said, or Al, I'll call it Al. Decluttering for overwhelmed. Ask for tips. Kind of creepy. But you know what? It's not being harmful yet. So I ask you, where are you stuck? Are you overwhelmed? Okay. Alrighty. So Jen Tenacious, I love this. Thank you for sharing some details so we can get into this and help you. I'm great at making the to-go piles. I bog down when I need to disperse the piles, and here's the word that I can sense a wee bit of overwhelm. A wee bit of overwhelm. I need to disperse the piles to all the different places. How about this? This is where we play kind of opposites and we play with the words. Okay, so Jen Tenacious, hopefully you tuned in and heard all of the ways that I suggest you get out of overwhelm before you start dispersing the piles. Because when you get out of overwhelm, things are easier to do. So calming down your nervous system, one of the ways that can help this is to also play with the words you use. Instead of saying, I need to disperse the piles to all the different places, all can be a word that triggers overwhelm. I need to disperse one pile to one place. Notice the difference, the quantity. All can overwhelm. I could move one pile to one other room. Boom. You've got some motion. You're not stopping and getting stuck. Oh, well, that one pile to one room wasn't that bad. Maybe I'll experiment with putting the one other pile in one other room. Okay? So that's how it can work. And a lot of what we do is just practicing getting out of overwhelm and chunking it down to a small enough bit that your nervous system goes from, I can't do this, to, I can do that. Like, I can at least look up the phone number. I can at least, the tiniest thing, sending that email, putting that one bag of stuff in the back of the car to go to a donation place. I can do that. It's getting you out of that kind of I can't and stuck to I can and moving. And again, this is an awesome life skill to have, not just in the silo of decluttering, but pretty much anywhere. I can at least reach out to that travel advisor and ask how much they cost to plan me a trip to the Maldives. I could at least look up the phone number to that place that keeps on sending me junk mail, and I could at least look up a phone number. Well, now that I have the phone number, I could at least call. Okay? Now, I love this. I love the positive ripple effect in this, because technically I was talking to, in theory or in practice, I was talking to Jen Tenacious, overwhelm and get stuck. This can inspire action in other people. Jennifer just said, going to put the stuff from in the mudroom into the car to donate. Rock on, Jennifer. Yay. And I wonder if that's some of the stuff from the closet yesterday, from the declutter party. Pretty awesome. Yeah. And yay, look at this. My whole family thought the mudroom looked great. Now, to give you guys context, because there's over 100 of us right now, is one of the many services I offer is I do one-on-one coaching for one-on-one clients. If you're interested in that, you sign up for my mailing list and you learn how to get that. But also, when you join the mailing list group, it's free, is we do declutter parties on Zoom. It's the reason it's only for the people on the list is, frankly, I filter out the trolls, basically. And Jennifer showed up yesterday for her very first decluttering party. And because she knew that maybe having some accountability, some problem solving, some encouragement, chunking it down to an hour and a half on a specific day and time, and then saying I'm going to work on it at that point, and then I'll be feeling better when I'm done with it. That is what a declutter party does. And we've got 9 more of them left in November. So if you're interested in maybe joining one of them, make sure you're part of the email group first, and you join that by going to destinationdecluttered destinationdecluttered.com and joining the mailing list with using the form at the bottom of the page. But notice, Jennifer now has stuff from in the mudroom to donate. So she's got less stuff. The number of items that were causing overwhelm in her mudroom, the number has decreased to a number that feels better. And she says, my whole family thought the mudroom looked great. How do you think it looks, and how does it make you feel when you look at that mudroom, Jennifer? Because here's a really kind of almost like an advanced level, like life coachy thing, but you guys can handle it. You're smart people. I don't hang around with not smart people. Okay? Now Jennifer is saying, I feel way better, calmer. I don't know about you guys. I freaking love to feel calm. Even right now, saying that word. Let's all hang around in calm for a minute. Doesn't that feel good? Oh, it feels good. That feeling right there, that feeling is why we declutter. Sure, we want it to look good, but when it looks good, because we are visual creatures, when it looks good, we feel good. And that feeling good, as the MasterCard commercial goes, priceless. Freaking priceless. Feeling good. When you look at something and the feeling, and you look at something and you feel good about what you see. Yeah. Now, Erin says, listening to this is helping to calm myself down. Yeah, and Erin, I'm going to give you a few tips on this. And if this is the episode where we talked all about kind of calming down the nervous system, I'm happy to label it that when I upload it to the Destination Decluttered YouTube page. What I want to offer you is I want you to think of the word down. Sitting down, slowing down, breathing down. Nice deep breath down to your belly. Slowing down your exhale. Turning down the volume of how you speak. Slowing down the pace that you speak. Turning down the tone, lowering your tone. All of these things you can do will provide a calming effect on you and get your brain out of overwhelm and fight or flight into at least neutral so that you can shift into action that feels better than if you tried to do it when you were just spinning your wheels. So please, what's the word I want to use? I share this with you so you can do it yourself. I don't want you to say the only time I can ever get calmed down is to watch these videos. I want you to learn this life skill, because you can do this in the grocery store when you're getting aggravated, in the parking lot of the grocery store, in the voting line, in the wherever you are. If you start to feel overwhelmed, you can learn to calm yourself down and feel better. And that feeling better is a feeling that we go for when we declutter, because we've noticed that when we look at stuff and it's cluttered, it doesn't make us feel good. So on the flip side, the opposite, if we make it look good, we will feel better. Now, that being said, look good, the way I do it is not skin deep. It's not just on the surface. Surfaces looking good can feel good. A deeper kind of calm and a deeper kind of better is also when you go through your stored clutter. When you also go through your sentimental clutter. So surface clutter, stored clutter, sentimental clutter, in that order. I am feeling so good because I am at the level of decluttering right now where my surfaces look good. My surfaces, I am grooving on that. And I am going through, as I gesticulate to the corner of my room that has had sentimental clutter in it for the past 6 months, I am going through my stored and sentimental clutter. And man, does it feel good to chunk that down, to go from, instead of an entire, photo album, to a few piles of photos, and some of them which I know I can mail off to other people. All right, Andre, Ola, from Colombia. So, my name is Beth. I'm a decluttering life coach, and my coaching is called Destination Decluttered. I show up and do these TikTok lives pretty much every day, Monday through Friday, sometimes on the weekends. I do YouTube lives. There's going to be a YouTube live directly after this at 11 a.m. Eastern, and we've still got about 19 minutes. Yeah. Okay, so here's the funny thing. Okay, so seriously, you guys, I'm going to take a minute, Gail, and I'm just going to write download, even writing down. You can't write as quickly as you can speak. AC Wild, happy Tuesday. Download TikTok Live and call it the one about overwhelm. Now, Gail, you did just join. I have spoken about it about 15 times already during this, but I am happy to do it too because I know the feeling of overwhelm stops a lot of us from doing a lot of stuff. So knowing how to lessen that feeling of overwhelm is a life skill that I'm happy to share. Okay? There we go. User 5838 says that song Dear Anxiety by Blue Eyes helps me calm down when I'm decluttering. There we go. No. Please, Gail, I'm going to help you with this. That would be silly for me to be like, nope, already covered it. That would be a jerky thing. What I want to offer to you is this. This is what I call all the downs. Okay? There we go. Karen, glad to help. Gail. So Gail, this is what I call all the downs. So start with your hands in the air and do a scan of your body. Just make sure that your overwhelm isn't also being exacerbated by feeling not good physically. I can feel very cranky if my body doesn't feel good, like if I have to eat or I gotta pee or my bra hurts or whatever, okay? So check your physical body first and fix any of the things that are making you feel really aggravated, okay? The next down, so you do a scan down from your crown on down. Notice the rhyme and the use of the word down. And then think of all the ways we can use the word down to basically calm down your nervous system. First one is to think of overwhelm is over. Immediately think, what can I do to use the opposite word, which is down? So I can breathe down into down to the bottom of my lungs, down to my belly. So I can breathe down. I can then slow down my exhale after I have breathed down. Running around, I sit down. Maybe I quiet down my environment. I shut the windows. I can hear somebody blowing leaves outside. I live in suburbia. That annoys me. I get overwhelmed. I also, instead of looking at the big picture, all the clutter in every room, all over my house, I've always been this way, the big drama words, you note that, you stop it, you chunk it down. What does that mean? To quiet it down, make it smaller, okay? And I just offer to you that you can easily be overwhelmed by the big picture. And what we don't want is the big picture to shut you down so you don't do anything. This is a life skill that will help you shift gears from being overwhelmed into then taking action. Now, you will be in a better position to take action when you're not so overwhelmed. Calm down, slow down, quiet down, breathe down. And this is a life skill. This is something you can use outside of your house too. So practicing it. One of the things you will do is once you kind of feel a little bit less, like you feel like you're coming down from like the spinning, you still slow down the spin. Maybe you're, instead of racing, you're slowing down. And the other one I immediately say then is write down. Get yourself a notebook, get yourself a pen, and just write down the thoughts of whatever it is that's making you feel overwhelmed. Kind of like that internal list of things to do that you haven't written down yet. Whatever comes up, write it down. Okay? Now, when you write these things down, it's kind of like dumping out a junk drawer. Okay? Do not expect this to be formatted correctly. Get it out of you. The most important thing to do is to get those thoughts out of your head down onto paper. Write down your thoughts. The things I have to do, the things I want to do, the ideas that I have, I got to call this guy, all that kind of stuff. Okay? Writing down then gives you distance. It literally gives you distance because instead of trying do all the math up here and solve the problems up here. You can use this, but you have distance and you can see what that is. And then you can use your pattern matching brain, your chunking it down brain, your creating of categories brain to make things feel more doable. That being said, many people overwhelm themselves after they write down a big long list. They overwhelm themselves with the thought of, I have to get all of this done at the same time. This immediate brain dump is not meant to be a daily list. It's almost like having the dictionary and saying, I need to use all these words. No, this is like your shopping list of, like, this is like the inventory of what you need, but you can pull from it and put some of these things on your calendar to do a little bit at a time. I hope that helps. At least it gets you started in the calming down and the writing down. Now, AC Wild is saying, you give all of these things that help have enthusiasm for patience. Yay. I love that. Enthusiasm for patience. That sounds kind of cool. I know these are skills, but it's all about noticing strengths inside. Yeah, all of this helps. Thank you. You're welcome. And yeah, and here's the thing. It is a skill because you can build on a skill. You can learn something you didn't know before. I am proof positive of this because I struggled with my life for like the first 50 years of it plus with a lot of this stuff that now I practice and I share. But I didn't do this for many years. And boy, did it show. I would feel overwhelmed and I would avoid and I would hide under a blanket and I would cry and I would feel awful because I didn't know how to get out of that feeling and into something else. I learned it from somebody else who learned it from somebody else and they told two friends and so on, like a Fabergé organic shampoo commercial. Okay? I learned it. It worked for me. I show up doing TikTok lives and YouTube lives pretty much every day so that you can learn it too. And this is such a basic, important skill, especially given what's going on in our country, that this is why I share this stuff every single day. I don't just say, sorry, you can't pay me, you don't learn it. No, this is a life skill that all of us benefit from. If you feel helpless and overwhelmed, you're not going to go vote today. If you feel helpless and overwhelmed, you're not going to try to change something that you don't like. Yeah. So, Rain, you're wonderful. Thank you. You're welcome. Melissa says, part of me, notice this, part of me, there's a part of me that wants less pillows and the other half wants them all. So what I would do is I would ease into it. I would have a conversation between less pillows and all pillows. Okay? And so I offer this to you. I bet you have pillows. Yeah. I have pillows better than the others. Okay? So I offer to you, keep your favorites. Okay? And yay, Laura Gibbon Voorhees. Awesome. If you don't want all the pillows, maybe you could experiment with how it feels to remove one pillow from your pillow collection. Do it a little bit at a time. Yeah. Gina is offering put less pillows on for a few days, and if you don't miss it, get rid of it by donating to a pet shelter. I do this sometimes. I have gotten rid of pillows, and I have kind of just the right amount. Sometimes I will put certain ones out at certain times of the year. Okay. Now, Jen Tenacious, this is very sweet of you, says 89 people in here. Now we've got 93. Y'all should be tapping some love for Beth. She's offering free help. Jen, that is awesome. Actually, what I would prefer is I don't care about how many followers I get. And the gifts that people send me via TikTok are gracious, but literally make me about a penny, if that, on a live. The more helpful thing for you to do, for you, not for me, I don't give a shit about me in this, is I would much rather see more people joining the free mailing list that I have. Now, I offer to you, I just will be very clear, I don't send out a lot of emails, and this is really not about getting you into any kind of marketing bullshit, okay? By being part of the email group, we will be able to remain in touch in case TikTok goes so bad that we leave. I will be able to be in touch with you. We've got a wonderful community there. Okay? So what I say is that's a very nice idea for you to get me like more followers and things like that. And please, the other thing too is if you want to know when I'm showing up again on TikTok, there's a schedule. But the schedule is only available to the people on the mailing list. And it's at destinationdecluttered.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, put your little email address in, join, you're in. Wicked easy. Wicked easy. You then get an email that has a link to a secret page. And that secret page that I'm going to pull up right now, just so I can look at it, has the following: 9 parties that you can declutter at. The party tickets get the donation. There's a donation we make every month to all the money we raise doing our parties, and we donate it to a food bank. You can also, download your habit tracker. Remember yesterday mine was empty. Now I'm working on it. Okay, then there's what I call the TV guide. It's the live schedule. It's saying Tuesday 11/4 at 10 a.m. is TikTok. I'll be here for another 8 minutes. Okay, 11 a.m. YouTube. Yep. Then Wednesday, TikTok, YouTube. Thursday, TikTok, YouTube. Friday, TikTok declutter party. You get to know when all that information is there. So if you want to tune in live, you know when to tune in. Now, there are also, as I've said earlier, as of today, there'll be 880 videos that you can choose from to watch for free on the YouTube channel. That's just free. Yeah. Amy from Miami, nice to see you. And Gina says, I'm on that mailing list. Your email is simple and easy to use. Yeah. The last thing I want to do is clutter up your email box. If anything, I help clients all the time declutter their email boxes. So why the frick would I clutter up something for you? It's also why I don't sell merch. It's also why I will not write a book. Because this is a way that we can exchange ideas right now. You can watch all of my videos and take notes on them. You can ask me specific questions on a live that can help you specifically where specifically you are stuck. And in real time, we can work through it together. Now, it's okay that you don't know a good way to declutter. Did you know how to drive a car when you were born? No. But it's something you knew that if you learned, it would improve your life. It would expand your life. Okay? And I offer to you, somebody taught you how to do something you didn't know how to do. It was called drive a car. You knew that would help your life, so you went and practiced it. You practiced it so much, it just became something, a skill you have that you do without thinking. Decluttering is like that. Decluttering is something you will, at a certain level, do a little bit every day of your life, because if you enjoy seeing a nice clean surface, but it's not going to be the massive weekend, month, year-long dig out. Who wants to live in that, and who wants to leave that as your legacy for somebody else? I get decluttering stuff on my FYP on TikTok a lot because of who I am and what I do. My heart breaks for those younger generations that are digging out from older people who did not declutter. Let's not be that generation that did not declutter. Yeah. Now I love it. Gina says, I have 186,000 emails on my AOL. I thought my mom was the only one left on AOL. We got her off of that, but yeah, we just ditched all that and started anew. Now, Gina says, once you see the full outcome, you'll never go back. It's such a relief and liberating. Now, notice how people are describing what it's like to be decluttered or even do a little bit of decluttering. I feel so much better. I feel calmer. It's such a relief and liberating. Better, calm, little, yellow, different. But you know what I mean? That's why we do it. Okay? Okay, TikToker, we've only got about 5 minutes left right now. I want to say this. Sit down. Drink down some water. Quiet down your nervous system. Breathe down into the bottom of your lungs. Okay? There we go. And get yourself out of overwhelm. I'm only here for about 5 more minutes, but TikToker, this TikTok Live, which is the 11:04 TikTok Live will be uploaded later today to the Destination Decluttered YouTube channel. And I am literally calling this one the one about overwhelm. Okay? It has come up so much today that I've talked about it a lot. But I say slow down, calm down, quiet down, because it will be so much more difficult for you to prep for your move if you're feeling overwhelmed and want to cry. So how do we make it easier? By getting you out of overwhelm and into action. Okay? So Rain is offering, I still think you could do an ebook. That way the way you impart knowledge is very valuable. Thank you. Yeah, here's the deal with me. I've written books before. Ta-da! I don't want to do it anymore. There are other ways to transmit knowledge from person to person. And I know for a stone cold fact, because I used to declutter people's houses, that people would think, well, I bought the book on decluttering. That kind of helped. Nah, I don't want my book adding to your clutter. I say participate in this. Write the book yourself. Write down all the things I use that I say to you that resonate with you. Pardon me as I have to do this little puzzle to keep on going. But thank you. I appreciate you thinking that I could do it. And I could. I just don't want to. And it really wouldn't help you because the information is right here. Okay? Now, Gail, I'm glad you enjoyed the help. Jennifer dropped off her stuff also. Awesome. Susan says, where do you start when your house is a mess? Any place. Any place. Okay? It doesn't really matter where you start as long as you start. Start in the room that feels easiest. Just getting yourself in motion will help you, okay? Now, Susan, I offer to you too, sometimes people have said that when I do these TikTok lives and YouTube lives, they like to have it on in the background to keep them company, okay? Gina is offering, you see something as you pass a room that you can toss, pick it up and toss it. Yeah, you can do some of it. There is some decluttering that you may feel like you can't do. So start somewhere with the stuff you know how to do. And you know how to do a lot more than you probably give yourself credit for. And the things that you don't know how to do, I am here to help you with. Okay? Now I'm going to sign. Yeah, Gina's offering good motivational music helps, having something on in the background. Sometimes silence. You get to know yourself better and find out what motivates you. Now, one of the things that motivates me is going to be being on time for things, because I like to be true to my school. I like to be true to my word. So I'm going to sign off of TikTok momentarily so that I can start up the Destination Decluttered YouTube live that we're going to do for the next hour. So I offer to you, you don't need to end this right now, but please, the best thing for me, for you, would be this. Make sure that you are part of the Destination Decluttered email group. You go to my website, destinationdecluttered.com, scroll down to the bottom, put your email address in, boom. I saw some people have already done that. That gets you access to know when I show up live again. You also get a free habit tracker you can download and print out. You can also get invitations to these declutter parties we do on Zoom, and also when I have availability on my one-on-one coaching. Everybody, that will really help you, okay? And then there's all sorts of things, okay? I am going to get this stuff started over here, 11/4/2025, YouTube live, ! So if you want to join continually, but I guess the other thing I was thinking of was, what did I do? Was practice getting yourself moving, declutter-wise. Don't just sit there passively. Get yourself out of overwhelm and get into action. And any decluttering you do is going to be good decluttering. Okay? All right. I'm going to sign off now from the TikTok, and I'm just going over to the YouTube. Destination Decluttered on YouTube. Okay? Feel free to join me over there. I'll be there for another hour. And this was fun. I look forward to the next TikTok live and YouTube live and declutter party. Again, Beth, decluttering life coach, Destination Decluttered. Hope this helped. All right.